Welcome, dear audience, to episode 3 of the Rings of Power. Oh, how fun this season has been so far. Not only have we barely moved the plotline, everyone also seems to be giving up on the show just 3 episodes in. It's so sad. We were promised a chaotically evil Sauron based on Walter White, but all we got was Anatard, the Lord of the Whigs. We were also promised interesting plot narratives, but ended up with Hobo Gandalf and fake Frodo again. Oh, weren't we also sold likeable characters and aspirational heroes, but then ended up with a cast that no one cares if they die? What an utter letdown this DEI ESG infested diarrhea show is. So let's get into audience, let's get finding out what crazy plotline those effeminate handbags are sicked up into the bucket this time. Show beginning, here we are with a horse. A fine horse. A horse so stunning and brave it has inbuilt Bluetooth Wi-Fi GPS tracking devices because it went straight towards a mysterious cave after Isildur's dad let it go miles away. Oh yeah, Isildur's dad. He was the guy who fake cried in episode 7. And you'll never believe this audience, but inside that mysterious cave, there is none other than Isildur. What? He's not dead? I thought he died to death when a burning house fell on him. So how did he end up in a cave full of spiders? Literally, no one knows, and I don't think the showrunners do either. But things are going a bit bad because those spiders are looking pretty damn hungry right now, so he needs to get thinking. Oh man, how am I going to get myself out of this total pickle? I know, I'm going to take this Orcs knife that was conveniently placed right in front of me just so this plot can happen, and then cut my way out of here. But little does he realise that conveniently placed Orc ain't really dead. It was just sleeping until the plot needed it to wake up. So it's big fight time until the Orc's head explodes, and Isildur stabs the spider to escape outside. For you, I'm really happy that not only did he survive a pyroclastic flow right in the face, and then a burning building falling on his head, but he also escaped all those hungry spiders. Because if he didn't, how else would Elrond tell him to cast a ring in the fire? You know, the events that happen in the future? So what's the point in all these fake death scenes and grave peril if he's literally in the future? It's like watching the Two Towers scene where Aragorn yeets himself off a cliff and then legit thinking to yourself, my god, he's dead! He's really dead and will never live again. When literally the next film is called The Return of the King and he's the fucking king. Anyway, very scary scene over, so let's head to Isildur's dad in present day Numenor, where beside him is his daughter, builder bro sister Isildur. You know, the completely made up character because the wet wipes apparently needed to feminize the plot lines when this show is entirely surrounded by cringe inducing yes queens. And Isildur's dad is looking like he's about to get fake crying again, so she gets asking him, Papa, why do you fake cry over dead kings, but you won't even say your own son's name? You know, Isildur, the guy who's totally dead because a burning building fell on his head. Oh, and it was totally the bitch queen's fault, and she will pay for what she has done. And that was said at a really convenient time, because here comes the literal Yas Queen, the woman she blames for Isildur's death. Even though the Numenor normies went to Middle-earth voluntarily, and she watched as Isildur volunteered to freely go with the full expectations that some really bad shite can go down there. It's like they're just adding drama for the sake of drama, no matter how bloody stupid it is. And everyone is really pissed at her for that, including a very angry lady who straight up lands a wet meat slap right on her face that I bet she didn't see coming. You know, because she's blind now. She may not have gotten blinded by a full pyroclastic flow to the face, but a couple of embers certainly did the job. Oh, and how could I forget? Proceeded to tell everyone not to tell anybody else that she was blind while wearing a freaking blindfold. So instead of lighting that bitch up for striking the literal Yas Queen, she instead tells everyone to stand down while she gives a really nice hug. Yeah, no one cares. So let's flip to later where Republican Rasputin alongside Builder Bro Sister Isildur and the Giga Simp Man are having a pint while at the same time openly discussing treason in a public forum against the literal Yas Queen. You know, the way how everyone does treason plans. And they really need to think hard about what they're going to do here to stop the Yas Queen's coronation. Maybe cause an uprising with the peasants and overthrow her? Or maybe just remove all the doorknobs from her room so she can't feel her way to the exit? Or maybe Builder Bro Sister Isildur has an even better plan because she found something in her room in season 1 and is going to explode all their nuts. So let's flip to the literal Yas Queen right now, who's entering the room that she kept the magical bowling ball in. And it has mysteriously disappeared. My god, God, that's terrible. I really hope that it hasn't fallen into the wrong hands to be used against her, because she is the fan favorite and everyone really gives a flying shit about this storyline. Alright then, let's hit a scene transmission over to the totally evil Republican Orcs. And they're gearing up for war against the Middle-earthers because we got to skip all the setup for this scene. But one Orc really doesn't like the idea of that, as he's now a little bit emotional. And he gets telling Adar, "Hey bro, why are we going to war? We've got a home here now just like we always wanted. And it's far away from the Democrat, elves. Surely we can live our days out here in peace, you know, just orking around?" "No, emotional orc man, for as long as we live, the totally evil elves will stop at nothing to hunt us with mail-in voting and questionable criminal charges. We must, as a matter of principle, go to war with them." "Very well, Adar, so it must be. Now if you excuse me, I need to go speak to my son that my orc wife shitted out a couple of weeks ago." "Don't worry, Skippy, we'll make sure you'll never be put on puberty blockers or be read stories by a bearded bloke in a dress." Well, that was the most wholesomely retarded thing I've ever seen in my life, so let's head over to Aragion where Granny Celebrimbor is telling the elven meat gobbler Durin, who's somehow teleported from Khazad-dûm between episodes, that he can make them some really cool rings that will totally heal their mountain after it got earthquake aids in the last episode. Because you know, why construct an interesting storyline with intelligent pacing when what you could do is just teleport characters all over the fucking map and everyone already has the information because it got emailed to them, so there's no need to waste time finding stuff out. But the elven meat gobbler ain't dumb and figures out that to make these rings, the dwarves will need to supply mithril batteries to the elves. But there's a little bit of an issue. Even if they were to agree on supplying mithril, Durin can't actually do anything because he's no longer the prince and his dad is a dick. So I guess it was a wasted journey, right? Doesn't want the rings? Gonna go trot off home now? Not so fast, because Anatard is about to get manipulating him using the power of his Mordor meth machine wig. "Hey Durin, big fan. Why not just think about our proposal for a moment? If you go back to your big daddy with a way to save your kingdom, then you would look totally cool and your dad won't hate you anymore. All you need to do is apply us with a little bit of mithril and you'll be set for life." Who the fuck is this guy? Who, me? Ahem.
I am the one who knocks.
What? Oh, sorry, wrong series. I'm Anatard, a friend of Hairspray Elrond who says you're really smart and funny, so hopefully we can do a deal and make those really innocent rings for you. But Durin ain't dumb, saying that he's gonna go outside and discuss this whole thing with Deezer, where he gets telling her that Anatard is a fraud, because Elrond would never call him really smart and really funny. So they should just get out of this place, but Deezer has better plans, telling him that this deal to save his kingdom would be totally cool, and it would mean that his dad will love him again, and literally no one cares. But while they're arguing, Anatard is telling Celebrimbor that they need to hurry their asses up closing this deal with the dwarves in case the Giga-Chad Elf King finds out that they're making more rings, as he has forbidden the forging of new ones. "My God," says the ever-gullible Granny Celebrimbor. "That's terrible! We can't let the Giga-Chad Elf King work out that we're making more rings now that you've just told me he said no." "Oh bro, I'm just gonna write him a letter saying that we've stopped forging and closed everything down. Yep, definitely no more rings. And we're not deceiving him at all." But why is Granny Celebrimbor worrying about what the Giga-Chad Elf King thinks? Because even in the first episode of this utter shite fest, Go-Go Gadget Galadriel completely disobeyed the Giga-Chad's orders to return to Valinor, and if we look at her now, she's just stunning around all over the place, working out every plot point immediately, because the pacing of this show is completely inconsistent and it's a giant pile of fucking horse shit. Alright then, let's head over to Isildur, who's just come across a load of dead people. So immediately gets his sword out expecting some serious dangeroos. But little does he realise an enrichment Londoner is hiding underneath that blanket with a knife, so straight up stabs him. "Ugh, sorry bro, I thought you were an orc." "Oh, it's okay, it happens all the time these days." Pretty much every day in fact. So to stop him bleeding out, because luckily she missed the femoral artery, he gets restricting the blood loss with a dirty rag and completely forgives her for stabbing McStabbing him. Does that mean the wound is gonna get infected and he will face the very real threat of death? Of course not! There are no stakes in this show because everyone knows he's alive in the future. So they get discussing how Isildur needs to find his Numenor buddies, because when he fake died in a fire, they all fucked off without him. So that must be really difficult since he's in the middle of nowhere, right? Lots of trees, can't see anything. Wrong. Because she has a very convenient map that details exactly where Isildur needs to go, so now he doesn't have to waste any time. No way, a character had a problem and is presented with an immediate solution? That's never happened in this show ever. Anyway, they get traveling towards an old Numenorian stronghold. But just as they get going, they come across another victim of London's knife crime epidemic. Oh, what happened, bro? I was culturally enriched. Oh, I'm gonna die and become yet another face in a newspaper that everyone glances over and immediately forgets because somehow this is totally normalized these days. So Isildur, the total hero, gives him an uncooked baked potato. But little does he realize this whole thing was a setup, as they were in fact the enrichers the entire time. And they're going to die. Like literally really died. There is no way out of it. They are dead. Completely surrounded. But wait a minute. Knockoff Legolas coming out literally nowhere to save them at the precise point they needed saving is the best piece of cinematic history that has ever cinemaed in the history of cinemaning. Oh, this is fantastic. It's just like that time when Bold Cut Kid was in a well about to get killed by an orc, then Knockoff Legolas just appears out of literally nowhere to save him. Oh yes, the Deus Ex Machina. The hallmark of shit writing. So with everyone dead or running away, Knockoff Legolas gets telling him to be careful that there's a lot of enrichment going on in these part of the woods lately. And if he could excuse him, he's gonna go set fire to the half-pint florist commander because she somehow died between seasons. And it definitely has nothing to do with the actress realizing that this show is a steaming pile of donkey diarrhea that would harm her career, so yeeted herself like Adar did. So let's go back to their village where Isildur is getting his leg stitched up by Bold Cut Kid, who also seems to gloss over the fact that this is set in the medieval times and that is gonna get infected. While Knockoff Legolas explains how the half-pint florist commander done goofed up and got herself deleted by an orc arrow. Alright, that was a great explanation. So Knockoff Legolas and Bold Cut Kid head outside where he tells the Bold Cut how he shouldn't be angry at himself that his mum is now dead. It is just part and parcel of living in Middle Earth. You know, don't look back in anger and all that. But the Bold Cut Kid, who is heartbroken, has a very important question to ask. Hey, since you're really old and all that, did you ever know my father? He was dead before I was born. Who, me? I mean, who, him? Nope, no idea who that is. Definitely can't be me, kid, even if I turned your mum into a goo balloon. And I did that on multiple occasions. Oh, okay, well, that sucks. Hey, I'm just gonna get really angry now for absolutely no reason and say that everything you were to me is ashes now, so we never need to speak again. Oh no, they're no longer friends. The audience is devastated. So Bold Cut Kid goes sulking while Isildur heads over trying to cheer him up. Yo dog, that's an aqueduct you're fingering. Oh, alright. Hey, you know that horse you lost to those bad guys? Do you want to go get it back? And don't worry, I somehow know exactly where they are. And it might be because the plot demands it. Well, you know where my horse is? Sure, but I can't be killed anyway because my plot armor is thicker than the 2 planks you wrote this show, so any danger we come across has absolutely zero stakes. Alright, let's flip to later where Isildur meets up with that bitch who stabbed him in the leg saying, "Hey, you alright? Yes? Great. You're really emotionally strong after going through all of that stuff earlier. I'm not that strong. I blame myself." Whoa, what do you blame yourself for? For surviving when everyone else didn't. That's so sad. Hey, did you know my mum died because I went swimming once, she got caught up in a riptide and straight up fucking died? What? Your mum's dead? My mum's dead too. But as they're discussing their dead mums, Bold Cut Kid is listening in from the shadows and his mum's dead too. Wow, all these dead mums all around the place. No matter women get paid less, they keep dying all the time. Emotionally touching scene that everyone cared about is now over. And we're heading to the camp full of the bad guys, where Isildur locates his horse and begins untying it. But the horse made some horse noises and that alerted the bad guys, so now they're coming to investigate. But as they inch ever closer, Bold Cut Kid comes out of literally nowhere saying, "Alright Gavna, can I share your fire? I'm totally evil like you guys are. Here, check out my mark that Adar gave me." This isn't Adar's mark, you twat. that? Oh, he's lying. Let's get him. But just as they're about to get killing the bowl cut kid, suddenly everyone starts mysteriously dying because at the precise point that a problem arose, an immediate solution was presented. Whoa, they haven't done that in this show yet. Oh, and also it was the Ents killing the bad guys because some guy was chopping wood earlier. How was that literal Yas Queen's coronation going? You know, the plot line that everyone really cares about? Well, she's about to get coronated to be the literal Giga Yas Queen, but the problem is that when she's just about to become the female of power, the crowd starts yelling at her that she's a total dumb bitch for getting all those numero normies killed. Oh, I feel the anger in this room because I can't see it. But don't worry, those poor dead people will live again and us super numero normies will be cool. You gotta trust me. Not so fast, Sister Isildur. She's a lying twat. This entire time she's been getting the plot lines for this show from this magical bowling ball. It was that what told her to go to Middle-earth. And it's Elven. So everyone gets big mad trying to beat up the literal Yas Queen and destroy the bowling ball. Oh, it's really violent and she's totally blind so has no idea what the fuck is going on. But just as the guards are about to be overrun, an eagle turns up out of nowhere and Republican Rasputin stands in front of it, so now he's like the king or something. Literally, no one cares. Everyone hates this plotline. Oh, and also Anatard alongside Granny Celebrimbor are making the dwarven rings because Durin made up with other Durin, so now they're friends again and they want the rings. Well, it would have been way more smarter to concentrate on this storyline than waste it on numero normies having a pissy fit over a fucking bowling ball. Alright, well that was another episode completely wasted. It really is fun watching a show where there are zero stakes and any problem that arises is immediately sorted so there is no tension. Hey Durin, do you want these rings? Oh, my dad ain't talking to me anymore. Oh daddy, I'm so sorry for being a dickhead. Hey, we want the rings now. Oh, we should betray the literal Yas Queen. Here's that bowling ball she was using. We have now betrayed the Yas Queen. Get the fuck out of here. Big shout out to all my Patreon boys and guys. Your support is the reason I don't have to eat my neighbor's cat in the Soviet kingdom. Love you all very much.
Subscribe button.
Is always right.